I was having a dinner conversation last week with somebody I was getting to know, and the topic came up that I had lived in Iran for 5 years, and the woman was kind of horrified, saying, "You didn't have to wear a burqa, did you? You know, where that you cover your entire face." And I said, no, in Iran, women don't wear burqas. That's something they do in Afghanistan. And I explained what I wore. I said, I wore a trench coat like I'm wearing right now, something lighter, and I wore a headscarf, kind of like this. Let's see if I can still remember how to wear a headscarf properly. You put it on like this, and like this. And if you're really chic, you get your hair to stand up like that. And she said, "Oh my God, you must have hated having to wear a rousserie and a manteau." And rousserie and a manteau. And I explained that other than maybe April through October when it was super hot and this stuff gets really warm, I didn't hate wearing hijab. I actually loved it. And as surprising as this is, I loved it because I liked being covered up. I liked blending in with the woodwork. I liked blending in with the herd. I didn't want to stand out, not just because I'm fair-skinned and blonde and obviously not Iranian, but because it's a lot more comfortable for me to be an observer, not be in the mix. So I liked being able to cover up, my hair and not fix it, and my clothes. I wasn't particularly stylish, and just go through the streets not unlike a ghost. And I started thinking about how much I like covering up this week when one of my clients is finished up a book. It was kind of a book doctoring project that the two of us were doing. And we're right at that point where we're done, and all of a sudden she was thinking of a million things that she wanted to add and include, and I recognized immediately what was happening. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are writing a book with the sole purpose of attracting clients and getting yourself on the stage and separating yourself from the herd and getting yourself out there and becoming known, as much as we say we want that, and we do, there's actually something that's fighting beneath us, and that is the fear of being uncovered, the fear of being exposed, the fear of having all eyes drawn to us and inspecting us and looking at what it is we're actually saying, who we are, what we're doing in the world. And that's actually very frightening. And so my client was doing what comes naturally, which is stalling. And you may be someone who is thinking about writing a book, and you're talking about it, and you say you want all of the fame and fortune and credibility and exposure that gives you. But if you haven't started that book, I would wonder if, in fact, you're worried about being exposed. If you've invested all of that time and all of that energy and all of that money in writing a book and you still haven't finished it, I'm wondering how much of that has to do with the fear of exposure. Because just as we say we want love and intimacy, just as we say we want the limelight, that's actually pretty scary for some of us. So I'm going to take this off because I love it. But I don't like what it represents. I don't like what it represents, which is fear, which is the desire to camouflage, which is the desire to hang back and play it small so nobody can come at you. And so I invite you to consider whether or not you're playing small, whether or not you're hiding a little bit. And, the only solution I have for you, the only thing that I can offer you is that if you stay in the background, if you skirt the wall the way I used to like to do, you don't get the prize. You don't get the success. You don't get the things that you're after when you write a book. And the only recommendation is to to just go out there and do it. Because once you do, everything switches up. Everything that you are meant to be and to have becomes available to you. And if you hang, it ain't going to happen.